fellow amazing investors and entrepreneurs. Excited to be here to share a couple of things with you. Beautiful day here in Florida. It's a nice little tiny lake behind me. I wanted to jump on here and talk about a few things. One of my clients, he was sharing his progress for the month in 2025. It's been almost exactly 1 month and a week or so. And how are you doing? Let me do a check-in with you. How are you doing when it comes to your productivity? A lot of people set resolutions, they create goals and all sorts of things. But then what ends up happening is they snap back in their normal routine and they end up doing whatever busy work that they were doing. They get busy with the maintenance work, is what I call, not things that help you progress forward, but actions, tasks, and projects that keep maintaining your life the way it is. So there's virtually no growth. And it looks like you're always busy and you're productive, but that's just maintenance work. If you want real progress, if you want to 10x your progress, there are these three areas I want you to consider and think about, and especially the impact of those three things. I'm going to walk here. If the first one being yourself, your own energy. A lot of people underestimate this. A lot of people think that, well, they need to manage their time a lot. Yes, you do. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. But one of the most important pieces of productivity is, I'm going to go into the shade in a bit. There's a bench here. One of the most important pieces of productivity is actually your energy management. If you don't know how to manage your mental energy, physical energy, emotional energy, spiritual energy, you're going to struggle a lot in being effective and productive. And a lot of that comes from your self-care routine. A lot of that comes from your sense of purpose and clarity in your life. If you don't have clarity, if you struggle with that, if you don't have a sense of purpose and a mission and direction, you're always going to struggle. And also, if you don't take care of yourself, and if you're struggling with certain things, that's going to impact your energy. And guess what? That affects your ability to think, strategize, and move projects forward that are not comfortable for you to move forward. So that's the first area, your energy or energy management. The second area that impacts productivity, I think the most, is your relationships. And specifically your closest relationships. That could be especially your spouse or business partners if you have a business. But for most people, it's their spousal relationship and their relationship with their significant other that impacts their energy to a degree that they don't even realize. And I can't tell you how many times I've gone through these conversations in the past decade as a coach, where about 60 to 70% of somebody's energy is taken up by their wife or husband. Because they're dealing with not a good situation in their relationship and they don't know how to move forward. They're using about 30% of their energy to try to move a business forward, do their job and maintain their well-being and do all that stuff. And they're struggling. And I always ask them, I'm like, what would happen if you had this reserve, this 70% energy reserve? And they're like, I would fly, but they don't know how to get out of it. So the conflicts that they're dealing with, the struggle they're dealing with in their relationship, whether they feel disconnected, not aligned, they don't have a common path forward, they're kind of living like roommates, that impacts your productivity quite a bit. Most people don't make the direct connection, but think about a time where you got into a big argument with a spouse. What happened right after that when you're trying to focus? More than likely that was taking up emotional energy from you. But that also happens in the background if your life is not set up right, and if you're not aligned with the person closest to you, which is the most important person, then you're going to struggle. Same struggle shows up with business partners, and also you can, by extension, you can tell your kids, your extended family, how your relationship is with them impacts your energy. This is why they also say that you're an average of 5 people around you. Well, who are the people that you're hanging out with? How productive are they? What's their energy like? Are they positive? Are they negative? Are they encouraging? Are they discouraging? Do they understand you, support you, like you? Or do they constantly question what you do, or they discredit you, or all sorts of things that happen? Juan, great to see you here. So that's the second area, is your relationships, that has the biggest impact on your productivity to move forward and actually create progress in your life and business. The third area is the one that most people think about, but not quite in the way that I'm going to share. And I would sum it up in structure. What you need for most people is a lack of structure that stops them from moving forward. Now, structure doesn't mean that you have to have such a routine where you cannot live. You can actually create a really cool and freedom-based, flexible lifestyle while having a structure. I always struggled with this when I was starting out, but a structure means two things. One, you have a long-term plan and you have a short-term plan. Most people do not have a long-term plan. They have reactionary plans, which are short-term based on what they copy from other people. And you might have subconsciously or consciously copied somebody else's model, but you don't realize that you don't have a long-term vision, a long-term strategy, a plan, and that impedes your ability to move forward. And why is this important? Well, your mind, as much as we understand the human brain, the human brain needs a structure. It cannot function without it. In fact, we're learning more and more as we study children's brains that children need structure. They cannot function without it. And how does that work? That means they need parents who can create boundaries for them. They need parents who can create a structure for them. If they don't have that, they go off the chain. Their energy goes all over the place. You're hearing all sorts of things like ADD, ADHD, these things. A lot of that might be, a huge part of that might be connected to parenting challenges or the environment they grow up in. It might not be what most people think. It might not be a disease the way most people think they are. But for adults, this becomes even more essential because if you don't have a long-term structure and a short-term structure, it means that you don't have a long-term vision. 5 to 10 years out, you don't have a long-term strategy. A lot of what you do in the short term is going to be very reactionary. You're just going to do things because this opportunity looks great, that opportunity looks great, or this person has it together a little bit better than the next person. And that doesn't take you anywhere. I can't tell you how many entrepreneurs I've worked with in the past decade who jump from one opportunity to the next one to the next one, or they're constantly distracted, or they're stuck in procrastination, or they're doing some other weird things, or they have some imposter syndrome, whatever they call it. All of that, a lot of that can be solved with having a clear structure. So those three areas, the impact of those are really high. Most people, when they want to be productive, what they do is they go find an app, or they try to organize they try to create block times to create structure, but they don't actually have a long-term plan, so the block time never actually moves forward. Or they try a Pomodoro method, or they will pick up an AI app to help them, none of which will help them because their mind is not set up right. The tools are very helpful, but if your mind is not set up right, tools will not help you. And I'll leave it at that. And if you don't know, I'm doing a workshop on productivity mastery. It's 2.5 hours. It's completely for the month. March 6th, we're going to be doing a productivity mastery workshop. And it's on a Thursday at 9 a.m. Take that time out, 2.5 hours. It'll help you a lot. It'll get you to self-assess all parts of your life. But specifically, we're going to focus on productivity mastery to help you understand how you can be effective in building your life based on what you want, based on freedom, legacy, purpose that you want to create. And also, we will also go into other areas that you might be struggling in that we can help you create a breakthrough. It'll be 2.5 hours. I have to walk you through this process, not a training process, a coaching process. You're also going to get a chance to network and connect with other investors and entrepreneurs. That's very valuable as well. It will be worth your time. I do these every now and then. You might ask, well, what's in it for me? Well, guess what? I get a lot of my clients through this process, but I get to serve as well. If you get a lot from that workshop, then I'll usually offer something small for you to see how it can help you further. You don't have to take that. It's completely free. And for you to, if you register to this workshop, you get a free training already with a PDF that will help you start thinking being productive now versus later. So you can actually get started now. So just type hashtag productive so I can give you that the link to register for the workshop, and you will get, as soon as you register, you will get a free training. It's a 20-minute training that I did that will help you go deeper with the powerful tool, one-page productivity that I did. And you'll get the PDF with it, and you'll also get the 2.5 hour workshop that's completely for free. And please share it with other investor friends, entrepreneur friends that might be on this journey. I've been on this journey for the past decade. I know what it's like, and you're going to gain a lot out of it. It's still the beginning of the year. It's still time to refocus and move forward. Excited to see you at the workshop. Juan, thank you for being here. Please share your insights below, and excited to see you on the other side.